Do you ever get that feeling? You know, perpetually cold hands and feet, or maybe just that dragging fatigue that hangs around no matter how much sleep you think you got.
Yeah.
These might seem like, well, just minor annoyances, things we kind of learn to live with.
Right.
But what if they're actually subtle whispers? Little hints from your body about something more fundamental.
Like your circulatory system.
Exactly. Maybe it's not working quite as efficiently as it could be, quietly impacting your energy, your day-to-day.
That's a really important way to think about it because instead of just dismissing these things, oh, that's just how I am. What if you could tap into some, well, surprisingly powerful and, let's face it, delicious natural solutions?
Right from your kitchen.
Precisely. Today, we're really going on a journey exploring 7 specific fruits. These go way beyond just tasting good.
Okay.
They contain compounds that can actually give your blood flow a significant boost. And we'll even focus on one that might offer surprisingly rapid effects by targeting a really key process.
Perfect. Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. We're digging into your sources today to uncover these natural ways you can enhance blood flow just by eating certain fruits.
It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it?
It does. But our mission today is to really understand the science. How do these incredible fruits actually work to tackle poor circulation and ultimately just help you feel better overall?
So maybe you're hitting that afternoon slump like really hard even after a full night's sleep. Or your fingers feel like ice cubes even when you're inside.
Yeah, happens to me sometimes.
These aren't just random quirks, they're often signals. You know, your body telling you something's maybe a bit off with the internal delivery system.
The circulation.
Exactly. It often points right to a circulatory system that isn't functioning optimally. And that can subtly, but really significantly, impact your health and just how you feel day to day, maybe in ways you don't even realize.
And it's more than just discomfort, right? It's systemic. Poor circulation isn't just about cold hands. It's about that vital flow oxygen, nutrients struggling to get everywhere it needs to go.
Right. The delivery network.
And as your sources point out, this reduced delivery impacts, well, everything. Basic energy levels, making everyday tasks feel like a huge effort, even cognitive function.
Huh.
Focus, memory.
Brain fog.
Totally. When blood flow isn't smooth, the whole system just operates less effectively. It's like a traffic jam inside you.
And unfortunately, many people, as you mentioned, tend to brush off those early signs.
Yeah, I'm just tired, or I'm just stressed.
Or I'm just getting older. They don't realize their vascular health, the actual condition of their blood vessels, might be gradually getting compromised.
Which carries real risks.
It does, because impaired circulation, if you don't address it, can worsen over time. It could potentially contribute to more serious cardiovascular issues later on.
Okay, so what are some of those less obvious symptoms, the ones people might miss or misunderstand?
Well, the sources you looked at paint a pretty detailed picture. The signs can be subtle, but they weave into daily life.
Like that persistent fatigue.
That's a big one. A deep tiredness that just doesn't lift, even with rest, because your muscles, your organs, they're just not getting enough oxygen.
Makes sense.
Then there's that brain fog we mentioned, trouble concentrating, maybe memory lapses, just not feeling mentally sharp. That can be reduced blood flow to the brain.
Depriving it of fuel.
Exactly. And of course, the classic, cold hands and feet. When circulation is sluggish, the body prioritizes the core organs.
Leaving the extremities out in the cold, literally.
Right. And the list goes on. You might get numbness or tingling, that pins and needles feeling, often in hands or feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nerves get irritated from inadequate blood supply. Muscle cramps too, especially in the legs, either during activity or even at night. Your muscles are essentially crying out for more oxygen.
Wow.
Even slow wound healing. Minor cuts or bruises taking ages. That's because the damaged tissue isn't getting the oxygen and nutrients it needs to repair effectively.
When you put it all together like that,
Uh-huh.
it really shows how much poor circulation can impact daily life.
It really does. It's a constant, subtle struggle for the body.
Okay, so let's unpack this. How can we even start to address this silent saboteur? Your sources bring up a crucial molecule, nitric oxide, NO. What's the deal with that?
Ah, nitric oxide,
Yeah.
yes. It's absolutely vital. Your body makes it naturally, and it plays a central role in healthy blood flow.
Oh.
Its main job in circulation is as a vasodilator.
Vasodilator, meaning?
Think of your blood vessels like flexible tubes. Vasodilation is when the smooth muscles in the walls of those tubes relax,
Okay.
and that causes the tubes to widen. This widening is incredibly important. It reduces resistance, letting blood flow more freely, more efficiently, everywhere, getting oxygen and nutrients to every cell.
So if nitric oxide and this vasodilation, this widening, are so critical,
Yeah.
well, the obvious question
Yeah.
is there a common, refreshing fruit that could help us boost introduction naturally? Give our circulation a natural leg up.
That's exactly where our first fruit champion comes in, watermelon.
Watermelon. Okay, I think of hydration, summer picnics.
Right. Most of us do. But it's actually remarkably rich in an amino acid called L-citrulline.
L-citrulline.
Yes. And interestingly, it's not just in the red flesh. There are even higher concentrations in the white part of the rind.
The part we usually throw away.
Often, yes. And when you eat watermelon, your body kicks off this really important transformation with that L-citrulline.
Okay, walk us through that. How does L-citrulline from watermelon turn into better circulation?
It's quite direct, actually. Once that L-citrulline is absorbed, your kidneys and other tissues get to work converting it into another amino acid, L-arginine.
Ah, L-arginine. I've heard of that.
Right, so L-citrulline is like the precursor, the raw material. This L-arginine then becomes the primary fuel or substrate for enzymes called nitric oxide syntheses.
The ML makers.
Exactly. These enzymes use L-arginine to produce nitric oxide, and as we just discussed, NO tells those blood vessel muscles to relax.
Leading to vasodilation, wider vessels.
Precisely. Wider vessels mean less resistance, which usually means lower blood pressure and improved blood flow reaching everywhere. It's a natural pathway starting with watermelon.
That's clever.
And what's really interesting is that getting L-arginine from L-citrulline, like in watermelon, seems to provide a more sustained release compared to just taking L-arginine supplements directly.
Why is that?
While direct L-arginine can sometimes be metabolized too quickly by the liver, the L-citrulline route kind of bypasses that initial rush, giving a steadier supply for NO production.
So watermelon is like a natural, slow-release capsule for boosting NO.
That's a great way to put it. It primes your body to enhance blood flow, acting like a natural vasodilator by increasing that crucial nitric oxide.
Which leads to that intriguing idea, you hinted at it. A common fruit acting almost like a natural Viagra for blood vessels.
In the context of blood flow, yes.
Yeah.
Because of how L-citrulline facilitates that NO-induced vasodilation, watermelon fits the bill. It really helps things flow better.
Fascinating. Okay, so boosting NO relaxes and widens vessels. Huge piece of the puzzle. But what about the vessels themselves? Their structure. Are there fruits that keep them strong and flexible? Like, keeping the roads well maintained, not just wide.
Absolutely. That's the other critical side of the coin. While NO is key for dilation, the structural integrity of the blood vessels is just as important.
Our body's highways.
Exactly. This incredibly complex network needs to be strong and resilient. If the highways get weak, damaged, congested, the whole delivery system falters.
Impacting everything.
Everything. So what if something simple, like adding certain fruits, could help reinforce these vital pathways, keep them strong, efficient carriers?
It sounds like it should be possible.
It is. There are specific nutrients in common fruits that actively contribute to the structural health of your vascular network.
Okay, so what does strong and flexible actually mean for blood vessels, and why is it so crucial?
Good question. Strength means the vessel can withstand the constant pressure from the heart pumping blood, resisting bulging, tearing, serious stuff.
What?
Flexibility or elasticity is their ability to expand and contract, adapting to changes in blood flow, like when you exercise versus rest. It ensures blood flow is regulated properly.
And if they get damaged or weak?
That's when problems arise. Weak spots can develop. The smooth inner lining can get rough, making it easier for blockages like atherosclerotic plaques to form.
Narrowing the roads.
Exactly. Restricting blood flow, potentially starving tissues of oxygen, that's ischemia. It reduces overall circulatory efficiency.
So what damages or weakens our vessel walls? What are the culprits?
Well, like city roads, they face wear and tear. Everyday stresses, sure, but also internal processes. Oxidative stress and chronic inflammation are major players.
Oxidative stress, that's free radicals, right?
Exactly. An imbalance between damaging free radicals, unstable molecules from metabolism, pollution, etc., and your antioxidant defenses. They can directly attack vessel wall cells, especially that delicate inner lining, the endothelium.
And inflammation.
Acute inflammation is healing, but chronic, low-grade inflammation inside the vessels is harmful. It contributes to plaque, makes vessel walls stiffer, less responsive.
So they lose their flexibility.
Precisely. Without the right protective and structural nutrients, these arterial highways can become brittle, inefficient. And like you said, it often happens silently at first, but leads to circulatory decline.
Okay, so how do we fight back? Keep those vessel walls strong and flexible. Which fruits help here?
This brings us nicely to our second group, citrus fruits. Oranges, lemons, grapefruits.
The classics.
Absolutely. They're packed with vitamin C and also plant compounds called flavonoids like hesperidin. Your sources really emphasize these for vascular health.
Let's start with the vitamin C. We know it's good for colds, but how does it act like a structural engineer for blood vessels?
Great analogy. One of its main jobs is collagen production. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. It's the primary structural component of blood vessel walls. Gives them strength, framework, some elasticity.
Like rebar in concrete.
Exactly like that. And vitamin C is a crucial helper, a cofactor for the enzymes that make collagen. Without enough vitamin C, you just can't produce strong, stable collagen.
So a deficiency weakens the vessels.
It can, yes. Makes them more susceptible to damage, less able to handle normal pressure. So getting enough vitamin C from citrus provides a key building block for robust, resilient vessel walls, fundamental for good flow.
Makes perfect sense. So vitamin C builds the structure. Does it do anything else for our vessels?
Oh, definitely. It also helps the tiniest vessels, the capillaries, strengthens their walls, makes them less prone to damage or inflammation. Remember, capillaries are where the real exchange happens. Oxygen, nutrients, waste.
Critical junction.
Absolutely. And beyond structure, vitamin C also helps boost nitric oxide production again.
How does it do that?
It helps regenerate another molecule called BH4, which is essential for the NO-producing machinery in the vessel lining to work efficiently. Plus, its antioxidant power protects existing NO molecules from being broken down by free radicals.
So it helps make and protect NO.
You got it. More NO means more vasodilation, lower blood pressure, smoother flow. Vitamin C is a real multitasker for vascular health.
Amazing. Okay, what about those flavonoids you mentioned, like hesperidin? What do they add to the mix?
Right. Flavonoids like hesperidin, found especially in the peel and pulp of oranges and lemons, add another layer of support. They're known to strengthen capillaries and arteries, enhance flexibility, and reduce damage susceptibility.
How do they do that?
They help reinforce the vessel walls, making them less leaky or weak. They also have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, protecting against that oxidative stress and chronic inflammation we talked about.
Okay.
And hesperidin, specifically, has been shown to improve endothelial function, that all-important inner lining. Hesperidin helps keep it healthy and doing its job regulating vessel tone, preventing clots, managing inflammation. Healthy endothelium is central to good circulation.
That's great. So how can we easily get these citrus guardians working for us?
It's pretty simple, really. Fresh orange juice, a squeeze of lemon in your water, adding grapefruit to breakfast or salads.
Easy enough.
Yeah. Eating the whole fruit is often best for fiber, but even juice helps. These aren't just refreshing habits, they're a consistent investment in your long-term vascular health, keeping those delivery pathways strong and flexible.
So citrus provides building blocks, boosts NO, delivers protective flavonoids, working hard behind the scenes.
Exactly. Diligently helping ensure those pathways stay clear, strong, flexible, and robust. Multifaceted support.
Strengthening vessels is key. But you also mentioned protecting them from inflammation. Are there other fruits that are real powerhouses in that area? I'm picturing little antioxidant superheroes.
That's a perfect image. And it brings us to our next group, berries. Think about those vibrant colors, deep blue blueberries, rich red strawberries, bright raspberries. What if those colors are visual cues, signals of hidden battles happening inside your blood vessels?
Battles. Like what?
The main enemies, again, are chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, and they target the endothelium, that delicate single-cell lining of all your blood vessels.
It sounds fragile.
It is, but it's incredibly active and vital. Damage to it, called endothelial dysfunction, is a really significant early warning sign. It suggests poor circulation might be starting or could lead to more serious heart issues down the line. It compromises all those protective functions.
And what happens when the endothelium gets dysfunctional? What are the consequences?
Well, without intervention, it can steadily worsen. A major consequence is artery stiffening. Healthy arteries are flexible, elastic,
Right.
but endothelial damage and chronic inflammation make them lose that elasticity, become rigid. Stiff arteries are just less efficient at transporting blood.
Leading to reduced blood flow.
Exactly, which can trigger that whole range of symptoms. Fatigue, cognitive issues, cold extremities, things often dismissed as just aging, but really signs of underlying vascular problems.
So how do colorful berries step in as our antioxidant allies in this internal fight?
This is where berries shine. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries are prime examples. Your sources highlight they're packed with potent antioxidants, especially anthocyanins and quercetin, key players in improving circulation.
Anthocyanins. Those the pigments, right, giving the color.
Precisely. There's beautiful reds, purples, blues. And quercetin is another powerful flavonoid antioxidant often found alongside them. They work together.
So what makes these anthocyanins such effective warriors against inflammation and oxidative stress?
They work in multiple ways. They actively reduce inflammation pathways in the body, and they're potent antioxidants, neutralizing those damaging free radicals before they can harm the endothelial lining.
Protecting the lining.
Yes, think of them as directly protecting the cells. Plus, their anti-inflammatory action helps calm down that chronic, low-grade inflammation that contributes to vessel damage and stiffness, like a soothing balm for your arteries.
So they're like bodyguards for our blood vessels. What else do berries do for our circulation highways?
They significantly improve endothelial function itself. A healthy endothelium, remember, helps produce nitric oxide for relaxation. Anthocyanins help maintain this function.
By protecting it from damage.
Exactly. And by protecting it, they help prevent artery stiffening, which is crucial for maintaining good blood flow and reducing heart disease risk.
Makes sense.
And there's another thing. Berries help reduce the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the bad kind.
Ah, the sticky stuff.
Right. When LDL gets oxidized, it's much more likely to cling to artery walls, starting that plaque buildup. Berries, by preventing this oxidation, help keep arteries clearer and more flexible, less atherosclerosis risk.
Is there good research backing this up? It sounds almost too good to be true.
Oh, absolutely. Your sources point to research linking regular berry consumption to improved blood flow markers and even a reduced risk of hypertension, high blood pressure.
Really?
Yes. Specific studies show berries like blueberries and raspberries significantly improve circulation. The antioxidants demonstrably improve endothelial function and reduce cardiovascular risk markers. It's solid science.
That's incredibly encouraging. How can we easily weave these berry benefits into our day?
Super simple and enjoyable. Adding a handful to breakfast cereal, oatmeal, yogurt, blending them in smoothies, snacking on them, adding them to salads, even desserts. It's easy to do.
So just adding them in is like deploying a little protective force.
That's exactly it. You're actively supplying your body with compounds that combat inflammation, neutralize free radicals, protect and improve endothelial function, and prevent LDL oxidation.
A natural defense system for our vasculature.
Precisely. And their impact on endothelial function and blood pressure is significant. Which brings up an interesting point, which tiny berry, famous for its health benefits, has compounds shown to support blood pressure in a way that's functionally similar to how some medications work.
Blueberries.
Blueberries are a prime example, packed with those powerful phytonutrients contributing to these effects.
Incredible. Okay, we've got NO boosters like watermelon, vessel strengtheners like citrus, and inflammation fighters like berries. Are there any fruits that offer maybe more rapid relief or help with specific issues like blood clotting? Sometimes you feel like you need a quicker fix.
That's a great question. And it leads us to fruits that might offer a more immediate boost and also protection against clot formation.
Okay.
Imagine a fruit so potent it could start improving circulation relatively quickly, maybe leading to a noticeable change. Or another that acts like a natural safeguard against dangerous clots.
That sounds very promising.
It's not just wishful thinking, there's science backing this up. Sometimes the system needs more than just long-term support. A quicker boost can be helpful. And issues like excessive platelet aggregation, sticky platelets, clumping too easily need attention.
Because that leads to clots.
Exactly, which can block blood flow to vital organs. Now, these are serious issues, often needing medical care, but nature can offer powerful complementary support.
So which fruits offer this kind of faster support or help with stickiness?
This brings us to a fruit we could call a fast solver for circulation, pomegranate.
Pomegranate.
Pomegranates really stand out due to their high concentration of unique antioxidants, especially compounds called punicolagens.
Punicolagens.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
They're incredibly potent antioxidants found in high amounts in the juice and even the peel. Your sources highlight they can increase nitric oxide levels, dilating arteries, and improving blood flow. They're largely responsible for pomegranate's benefits.
So how do these punicolagens work their magic potentially giving that quicker boost.
Primarily by significantly enhancing nitric oxide availability. More NO, as we know, means more vasodilation, wider blood vessels.
Relaxing the vessels.
Right. This reduces resistance, allows blood to circulate more freely. A direct consequence can often be lower blood pressure as the heart doesn't work as hard.
And faster results.
Potentially, yes. Studies mentioned in your sources show pomegranate juice can lower blood pressure and even enhance exercise performance by improving oxygen delivery. Better oxygen to muscles can lead to more noticeable effects, maybe feeling it faster. That's why it's considered a faster-acting fruit for circulation.
That's really interesting, especially the exercise performance link.
Uh-huh.
Does pomegranate offer longer-term benefits too?
It does. Beyond the vasodilation, pomegranates have significant anti-plaque power, crucial for long-term health.
How so?
The antioxidants, including punicalagins, help prevent that LDL cholesterol oxidation we talked about, keeping arteries clearer over time.
Preventing the sticky stuff from forming plaque.
Exactly. Oxidized LDL is a key initiator of plaque buildup, which narrows and stiffens arteries. By inhibiting that oxidation, pomegranates help maintain cleaner, more flexible arteries long term.
So pomegranate impacts NO, helps prevent plaque. Perhaps overlooked, but powerful.
I think that's fair to say. It's a potent fruit.
Great. Now, you also mentioned a fruit that helps with blood clots, the natural blood thinner.
Yes, that brings us to our fifth fruit, kiwi.
Kiwi, love kiwi.
That bright green fruit is rich in vitamin C, potassium, and various antioxidants. Your source mentions these improve blood vessel function and reduce clotting.
How does it reduce clotting?
While vitamin C helps muscle strength and potassium aids blood pressure, kiwi's standout feature here is its effect on platelet aggregation stickiness.
Platelet stickiness. Why is that so important?
Kiwi's main contribution here is lowering that platelet aggregation. Studies show regular consumption can make platelets less sticky.
Less likely to clump together.
Exactly. Platelets are vital for normal clotting when you're injured. But if they're overly sticky, they can clump inside vessels without injury, forming clots, thrombi.
Blocking blood flow.
Potentially, yes. By reducing this tendency to aggregate, kiwi helps maintain smoother blood flow, lowering the risk of unwanted clots.
Is this effect really significant? Enough to make a difference?
It seems to be. Your source notes the effect is significant enough that it's even been compared to low-dose aspirin.
Wow, like aspirin.
In terms of reducing platelet stickiness, yes. But potentially without some of aspirin's side effects, like gastrointestinal issues, making it a remarkable natural blood thinner, as one source puts it.
A natural way to reduce clot risk.
It's quite compelling, which leads to the payoff,
Right.
which exotic fruit with its fuzzy skin shows this ability to reduce platelet clumping, drawing comparisons to low-dose aspirin.
It has to be kiwi.
Kiwi it is.
Pomegranate for a potential rapid boost and anti-plaque help. Kiwi for clot fighting. That's powerful. Now let's circle back. What about common fruits? Apples, bananas, do they play a role in the long run?
Absolutely. Let's talk about these everyday heroes. And you raise that key practical question. How quickly might you actually feel improvements, especially for things like cold hands or fatigue, by consistently eating these fruits?
Yeah, the timeline matters.
It does. While fruits like pomegranate might offer quicker hits for specific things, apples and bananas contribute more to that foundational circulatory wellness.
So what are their key benefits for our circulation system?
Well, long-term circulatory health isn't just about quick fixes. It involves managing underlying factors like cholesterol and mineral balance.
Debate.
High LDL cholesterol leads to plaque. Imbalances like too much sodium versus potassium constrict vessels and raise blood pressure. Addressing these foundations through diet is vital.
It's funny how we overlook everyday fruits for these specific benefits. We just see them as snacks.
It really is common. People often miss that these familiar fruits have specific bioactive compounds crucial for, say, clearing pathways or relaxing vessels. They're missing out on accessible, affordable, natural strategies.
Okay, let's start with apples. What's their main contribution?
Apples contain a good amount of pectin, a soluble fiber. This fiber is really helpful in lowering LDL cholesterol.
How does pectin do that?
In your digestive system, it forms a gel that binds to bile acids. Bile acids are made from cholesterol. By binding them, pectin helps your body excrete them. This makes your liver pull more cholesterol from your blood to make new bile acids.
Sneaky. So it lowers circulating LDL.
Exactly. Helps keep arteries clearer.
What else do apples offer?
They're also rich in polyphenols, especially one called quercetin. It's a powerful antioxidant, protecting vessels from oxidative damage, supporting heart health.
Quercetin. I think I've heard of that. Is it mostly in the skin?
Often highest concentrations are in the skin, yes. Another reason not to peel them. Quercetin neutralizes those damaging free radicals, shielding the vessel lining, reducing inflammation. It helps maintain the vessel's structural integrity and flexibility.
So apples,
Correct.
good for cholesterol, good antioxidants.
Yeah.
What about bananas?
Bananas.
Potassium, right?
Yeah.
How did that help circulation?
That's the headline for bananas. Potassium is essential for regulating blood pressure. It helps balance sodium levels.
Why is balancing sodium important?
Too much sodium tends to constrict blood vessels and makes your body retain fluid, increasing blood volume and pressure. Potassium helps your kidneys excrete excess sodium, reducing blood volume and pressure on arterial walls. It helps vessels relax.
Okay, potassium's key. Anything else in bananas for circulation?
Yes, they also provide magnesium. Magnesium aids muscle relaxation, including the smooth muscles in blood vessel walls.
So it helps vessels relax too.
It does. Magnesium acts a bit like a natural calcium channel blocker. Since calcium influx causes muscle contraction, magnesium helps modulate that, allowing vessels to widen or dilate more easily, reduces resistance, improves flow.
This is all incredibly helpful. Now back to that timeline question. When might someone actually notice benefits like warmer hands or feet from consistently eating these fruits?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Individual responses vary, of course, but fruits that directly boost NO, like pomegranate and watermelon, or improve endothelial function, like berries, might lead to more noticeable changes relatively sooner.
How soon?
Potentially, some people might feel positive changes, less coldness, maybe less fatigue, within a few weeks of consistent intake as blood flow gradually improves.
But it depends.
It really depends on overall health, how severe the issues are, and crucially, consistency. Daily intake of all these fruits, including apples and bananas, supports that gradual but sustained improvement in the underlying factors. So maybe not overnight, but positive changes within weeks. It's possible with consistent effort.
So even the common apple and banana are valuable players in the long game. Cholesterol management, blood pressure, vessel relaxation, building that strong foundation.
Precisely. They are unsung champions, working quietly but effectively over time.
Well, this has been an incredibly enlightening deep dive. It's amazing how much these fruits can do for our circulation and well-being.
Absolutely. And the great news is, the solution isn't some complicated remedy. It's growing all around us. By consciously adding these 7 fruits, you're taking a strategic, natural approach to nourish your vascular system.
So what's a practical first step for listeners wanting to start today?
I'd say start small. Pick just 1 or 2 fruits from our list this week that appeal to you. Make an effort to add them daily.
Like berries or kiwis for breakfast.
Perfect example. Then just pay attention. Notice how you feel. Any newfound warmth in your hands or feet, maybe a bit more energy. You might be surprised.
It really is empowering to know this natural support is right there.
It truly is. You now have the knowledge to actively support your circulatory health naturally, enjoyably. And remember, combining this with good hydration and regular movement, that really enhances vitality.
And we'd love to hear from you all.
Yes, please. Share your favorite fruit recipes or ask questions about circulation health in the comments or on social media. We might even point you to other useful resources.
Thank you so much for guiding us through this fruity exploration today.
My pleasure. And thank you all for joining us. See you soon. Until then, keep learning, keep nourishing yourselves well.
And one final thought for you to consider. As you start adding these fruits, think beyond just circulation. What other aspects of your health, maybe energy, skin, mood, might also get a positive boost from these simple, delicious changes? It's all connected.